Today we are working on creating the light portion of the LS6 kit, which is a replica of Luke's lightsaber. Parts used for the assembly include the replica, the 3D printed housing for the electronics and battery, one 3.7 volt 1 amp lithium ion battery, a recharge port, one blue-white LED which is now attached to a copper heatsink, a switch, one breadboard for testing and would be switched out with a PCB later. The LED was attached to the copper heatsink with thermal tape and wired with red wire to each positive of the LED and green for the negative. The wire was then threaded through the heatsink. After soldering, the housing was then placed to cover the LEDs. For the test circuit, we attached the positive and negative of the battery directly to the positive and ground pins of the recharge port. We had another positive wire from the recharge port attached to the switch and the negative directly to the 3 negative wires of the LED. We found that no additional resistance was required and the voltage to the LEDs would not burn out with the heatsink and resistance of the wires themselves. We braided the LED wires and added heat shrink for later as we connected the top portion. We soldered a switch to a small PCB that would rest in the lower portion of the hilt with hinges to access to the switch. We soldered positive and negative LED wires to one longer wire for each one and had heat shrink wrapped around the connection point. We already attached the recharge port to the case itself and added the battery and put it inside the hilt. We then threaded the wires from the battery, as well as the ones from the recharge port, to the area where the switch would be located with access from the hinge. With access from the hinge, we connected the battery to the recharge port directly, as well as the negative from the LED to the recharge port. The last step was to solder the positives to the switch on the PCB.